Hey cats, it's Ed Superfly Bud here, back with an episode of the viewer's favourite running shoe, yay or nay. Four shoes I'm going to look at today, guys. I'm going to tell you whether I'm going to pick them up or not for review. This isn't me saying the shoe is great or it's terrible or reviewing the shoe in any way. This is simply whether I'm going to pick them up for the channel. It could be that another shoe tuber out there can do them more justice, and as such I'll leave them for them to test out. If you're enjoying the channel and you haven't done so yet, please help us out by hitting that subscribe button, but also clicking the bell below for notifications of when we launch the new videos for you. It really helps us out too if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share it with your running buddies. Cheers, me dears. Shoe number one on today's running shoe yay or nay. It's the PUREBOOST 22 from Adidas. So this model is interesting because it seems to have a higher frequency, or at least smaller boost TPU pellets in the midsole. Definitely looks different to the UltraBoost 22 profile, though there's more of a mesh upper on top of that boost midsole. Certainly different to the prime knit that we get on the UltraBoost model, and it could make for a slightly better daily trainer for fans of boost. We've got all of that impact protection that you'd expect from a boost shoe, but a much lower stack height here than the UltraBoost. Certainly a shoe aimed at shorter sorties into the urban sprawl. We've of course got the gold standard Continental rubber. It's a stretched kind of mesh on the bottom of the shoe, and a more wallet friendly price of 100 Earth credits here in the UK. It's going to appeal to those that don't want to splash out like 40 more pounds, for example, for the Solar Boost 4. I think these will come in a touch lighter as well than the Solar Boost 4 and the UltraBoost 22, though I've no need for any more daily shoes with boost right now. I've got the Pegasus 39, the Cumulus 24 and the Velocity Nitro 2, so I simply don't need another daily shoe right now. So it's a nay for me right now on the Solar Boost 22 from Adidas, though I am intrigued as to that boost midsole, whether it's a new sort of type of pellet that they're using. Does seem smaller. Shoe number two, it's a big one. The AlphaFly Next% 2 looks set to launch very soon. I know it has appeared now in the Nike Run Club app. You can actually select it as a shoe you own. That suggests to me that it's going to drop pretty soon. I imagine the initial prototype run will only be available to Nike Run Club members, perhaps, or Nike members. It'll probably be one of those drops where you get an opportunity to grab the shoe quickly before it sells out. Nike have done that many times before, and a lot of people are left a bit disgruntled by that. You know that there'll be like 20 different colorways in the end though, guys, so if you don't get it initially, don't be too upset. Nike will be keen to take your money. It's certainly a new profile here, stylized take on the original. Looks quite space age really, something that Buzz Lightyear might wear for a quick 10k. Interestingly, it's taken Nike 2 years to drop these, perhaps knowing that they are a conversation starter, though everybody's moved on from the very controversial unveiling of the original version of the AlphaFly. Big standout factor for me is that huge heel flare in the rear of the shoe. It just seems a bit of a pointless addition. No one's ever going to use it, are they? You're not going to step on the shoe that much. I know some people heel strike, right, but that doesn't mean they're going to be engaging that part of the shoe. Come on. It's just asking for someone to step on it and crack or tear the foam. That upper has an almost fish scale type texture to it as well, doesn't it? Really fancy fish and chips now. Very similar to the Streak Fly in appearance, that upper, I think. Definitely the texture and the mesh seems very, very close. In the high-res pictures that we now have, it's clear to see that the pods are now mounted on a very thin layer of ZoomX material, almost like it's protecting them like a Peaback's cave. There does seem to be some more cushioning around the heel creeping up to the collar, plus they've carved out a large portion of that ZoomX material underfoot. It's quite an outsole switch up here too in the forefoot. I'm a little bit disappointed there because I really, really like the outsole on the AlphaFly original. The traction here just worked on practically any surface there was going, so moving away from that just seems like change for change's sake. The midsole foam in the images here seems more reminiscent of the original AlphaFly ZoomX than that found in the Vaporfly Next%. It's a definite yay for me on the AlphaFly Next% 2, if I can get my hands on it, of course. I shall try, but then everybody else and their dog will be trying too. Shoe 3. the Metaspeed Edge Plus from ASICS. Now I can't help but be intrigued by this shoe after my really exciting initial runs in the Metaspeed Sky Plus. How would the increased drop in the Edge Plus benefit me at all? The upper and outsole appear to be the same as the Sky, though the major difference here is in the midsole with that plate placement, and of course the changed up foam balance between the heel and the forefoot. The plate in the Edge does appear to be way closer to the outsole and to the floor, perhaps making for a more traditional rocker style feel in the Edge Plus, and we've seen that set up in pretty much every other carbon plate shoe that's been released over the last couple of years. This will mean that there's more flight foam turbo under the mid to forefoot, perhaps a slightly more cushioned ride there, though there's actually less foam overall in the forefoot than the Sky Plus. Does that make sense? You have an 8mm drop here compared to the 5mm in the Sky Plus. Dare I say the next percent versus the AlphaFly of the ASICS world. It does seem that they're building these two shoes up to be in the same ballpark as the AlphaFly and the Vaporfly. I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of brands are actually positioning their race shoes now. Perhaps the difference between these two models will become more apparent as we get some miles into the shoes. As usual, time will tell. Either way, it's a yay for me if I can get my hands on a pair of the Edge Plus, purely out of intrigue and curiosity really. I just want to see what the major differences are, if any. Shoe 4. Now, sometimes a shoe comes along that really perplexes me, it bewilders me, I can't figure out why the manufacturer has created it. This is one such shoe, the ADISTAR CS from Adidas. Now, the first thing that really bewilders me about this one is that it's £150. 150 Earth credits. The shoe also weighs in at a whopping 320 grams for the sample size in the UK, which is an 8.5. So in my size, it's going to be bonkers heavy. We've got even more Repetitor Plus foam here than the standard ADISTAR. There's a 6mm drop and a 37mm stack height in the heel. So again, it's going to be skyscraper-like for me. I'm just not entirely sure that anybody needs that type of shoe. A really, really highly cushioned stability shoe. Two things in my mind don't work together all that well. I see fewer and fewer stability-based shoes launched, and this one will be way out of most people's price range. It does seem Adidas have placed in some type of stabilising plate in the lateral half of the midsole, along with a firmer sidewall probably made of that Repetitor Plus foam. A very plush and padded upper completes the shoe. It's not something that I'm going to be testing anytime soon. I just don't need this. It seems an oddly timed release as well, the shoe that's got this much padding smack bang in the middle of summer. It does seem a bit like the old ASICS Glide Ride before they put in some of that newfangled foam. It's just a new breed of cushioned foams available now, and I don't really see the ADISTAR CS having much of a place in the whole shoe rotation. So it's certainly a nay for me on this one. It might suit some people that have got a big wallet and need a stability shoe, but I think there's probably better options out there right now. Not one that I'm going to pick up for testing. Okay, that's all 4 shoes in today's Yay or Nay. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on these down in the comments. Is there a shoe that you particularly want me to test out in the near future? Let me know down below. A musical interlude for you. Had a lovely day with the family over at Stourhead, walking around the gardens there. Always reminds me of a very specific Neil Young song for some reason. I think it's the sort of scenic views, very picturesque kind of areas, going back to Comes a Time by Neil Young, and the very last track on the album, Four Strong Winds. Beautiful country tune, very sentimental. There's some lovely acoustic guitar sounds on there, and a beautiful duet too. I think it's a song from the very early 60s written by a guy called Ian Tyson, and this album probably features more musicians than on any other Neil Young album. Lots and lots of strings here. It really does add some extra depth to some of the songs. Even Crazy Horse appear on a few tracks on this album. It really is a fantastic, underrated Neil Young album. Go and check it out very soon, guys. Comes a Time by Neil Young. Okay, that's just about all for me for today. Thanks for tuning in. It's always appreciated, people. Hit that subscribe button, click the bell below for notifications. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you